Hello guys, so let's learn how to do eyelash and eyebrows, and in this case we're going to learn some Xgen editor instead of interactive, just to learn all the techniques available from Xgen. Okay, and Xgen editor here is actually just a different way to do hair sculpting, but or grooming, but they're essentially the same. They're just using different ways of manipulating the same thing. Anyway, let me grab this model here. Make sure that you duplicate it and unparent to unparent it. I'm gonna select the faces I need for the eyebrow and eyelashes. It's gonna be those guys here for the eyelash. All right, and for the eyebrows, it's gonna be these faces. I can actually go symmetry and symmetry on and off just to toggle. Okay, and I'm gonna just deselect the other faces and just delete, so that I'm just having the and also these, so that those faces are where I'm supposed to be having the eyebrow and eyelashes. Okay. And let me also select the eyebrow ones and maybe separate those, which is, where is the separation? Oh, it's extract. Okay, and then it's been so long since I actually do some close the modeling. Combine those two together, and that's gonna be the eyebrow base, and the other two will be my eyelash. Maya is not the best way modeling case, not even close to the advanced ones available here now. So that's the eyebrows, that's the eyelash. Okay. Now to make them follow the original mesh, I need to grab those both, and then the original body here, I'm gonna do a rigging deform and wrap deformer. Make sure that you check on the exclusive band and create. It's gonna make them follow exactly when the model moves. Okay. All right. Let me go grab these two one more time. I'm gonna give them the default Lambert material, just in case I forget. Okay, so now I have those two meshes that are ready for growing hair. Let me do actually the eyelash first. Okay, I'm gonna go select the eyelash basis and go to the window. Oh, actually underneath modeling, generate action editor, and create new descriptions. And this is basically the same thing as the interactive grooming. That is the name of that description. I'm gonna call this eyelashes. Okay, the collection will be you know, the hair collection. Maybe it's like a group of the different things, different descriptions. I'm gonna use, in this case, splines and place and shaping guides and randomly across the surface. Okay, and then create. Alright, now so far nothing is actually available for me to view, but I do have this editor coming out for me, and I can then use that guy to start doing some of the eyelashes. Let me add the eyebrow here. So also maybe I can add the, or let me just add this guy. Yeah. Alright, so nothing is there. If I want to create something, I need to start placing the guidelines by using that, or this guy here. Okay, let me place one here. That's gonna give me one guideline. Okay, and then to change this guideline, you can use, you know, some of the tools to sculpt it. That's actually the guideline shaping tool. You can use that to sculpt the guideline. Okay, or you can also go to get control points and tweak it this way, right? Which in my opinion sometimes could be easier, because I'm from a traditional modeling background, so sometimes I think this is actually giving me exact control of what I'm doing. I can shrink it down very easily. The other guideline thing, let's actually try that. So let me use that placing guideline command again and place one more. Okay, now this new one now, I can maybe try to shape it use this sculpting tool. And they're basically the same. Sometimes it's harder to control for me, you know, compared to the other guy, compared to the other method. So it's your choice to either use this or that. I use the traditional control point just to specifically tell it, okay, you go inwards, right? You just go inwards and you go inwards, and that's it. So I think this is easier to me actually. But anyway, I'm just gonna place those guidelines just as if they're, you know, clumps that I'm gonna end up you know, for my eyelash. So one more clump here. Now you don't have to place a whole lot of those guys yet, because we can actually interpolate the ones in the middle. So I have two now. If I start placing another one here, this new one will be interpolated between the other two, right? So you just have to define the bigger ones first. Let me create one more here and one more there, and maybe the last one. Now a few things about eyelash is that the eyelash is of course bigger in the middle. It's bigger in the middle, or longer in the middle. It's shorter on the edge. So I'm gonna gradually make those guys shorter and shorter. Okay, drag those guys down. All right. Oops. And you can also drag that guy downwards. Trying to form a nice arc that I want for my eyelashes. So you don't want them to be too flat going forward. That's gonna make them really hard to render because they're kind of like becoming a line from the front view, right? So just mind the arc, the curvature on the side, also this side, the curvature here. Make sure that they're going smoothly down so that you can get better render results. You don't have to tweak those later, right? Just make them fall down because they're actually just go from the side and go, you know, go outwards and curving down. Okay, just do those things really quickly. And again, those are gonna be the clumps you end up with when you're actually generating hair. Alright, so let me also start putting in a little bit more. One more here, maybe one more there, and last one here, maybe someone more in the middle. And I can go ahead, maybe one more here. And I don't want them to be parallel. That's another thing about eyelashes. They're not parallel, right? So they go closer to each other at some point. So I can actually just drag them inwards as if I'm just using very simple strokes to draw those eyelashes. Alright. Okay, so these two can go closer. This guy can also go that way just a little bit, and this guy can go this direction, and this guy can go backwards. Right, just trying to do some nice variations on the direction of those guidelines so that they're not all the same. Let me add in a new one right here. Go to Control Versus. Let's check those in. Whoops, this guy is going crazy over there. Okay, now if you want to move some of the guideline, like I want to move this guy maybe closer to that, I can use the same tool I use to add guidelines. Go to the object mode and move my brush to on top of that guideline, holding down Control and drag it to move it. Okay, holding down Control and drag to move the guy. Oops, not the new one here. Okay, that's moving it. Okay, cool. And yeah, just to show you the move, I don't really necessarily to move that guy. Maybe just go closer, a little bit closer to there. Alright, and go to control points and drag it over. Okay. Now go to the front view again and just take a look at the arc right there going down. Those looks pretty nice. I'm thinking maybe I can make those guns just go down a little bit more. Right. You can of course grab multiple ones. Go to the control points and grab all three, have a soft selection and drag them all down. Alright. Okay, I can go maybe that way. Because mostly you're rendering them this way, so don't look at it this way that much. Just look at it this way, right? That's where you're gonna render them. Okay, mind your directions. Okay, so this guy can maybe go down a little bit more. Okay. Alright, maybe I can make those guys a little shorter. Doesn't seem like they're getting shorter here. So I'm just gonna drag those guys in. Alright. Maybe I can move those guys, just go down a little bit more. Alright, that's the basic shaping of the lower eyelid. Right. Now I'm gonna spend some time also do the upper eyelid, but it's the same thing, so I'm not gonna show you how that process is being done. Maybe I can just fast forward that part while I'm doing it. Okay, so when I finished, then we can move on to actually creating some hair strands.